All right, let's get started. So, hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of AI Camp AI webinar. In this session, we're going to show you how you can use AI powered generative development to build apps quickly. My name is Toufiq. I'm a senior product manager on the Oracle Apex team. Along with me is Ashwin, who is also a product manager on Oracle Apex team. Before we begin, customary safe harbor. If we happen to make any forward-looking statements as part of our demo, please, you're not expected to make any business decisions out of this. All the content that we are presenting today is only for educational purposes. With that, a bit of housekeeping before we start. Best experience, right? For best experience to view this particular webinar, ask your questions in the chat, right? So if you are, one moment. So if you have questions, post them in the chat. Our experts are here to help you. And if you like what you see in the demo, feel free to show your support by reacting with emojis. We don't charge you for using emojis. And next thing is sit back, relax, and watch us build. The main intention of this episode is to give you first-hand live experience of how app development looks like with AI-assisted development in Oracle Apex. So you can just sit back, relax, and watch us build. And the next thing is we are using AI to build these applications. We're doing it live. So if AI stalls, if there are any hiccups, hang tight, we will sort it out for you. With that out of the way, so what are we building today? So we're going to build an event management app live using AI and Oracle Apex. Before we jump into building the app, let's have a quick sneak peek into what the app looks like once it is built, right? Let me shift to my browser. So this is the app that we're going to build today. It's an events app. I can sign in. Let me log in with my email ID. So once I'm in the app, this is the landing page. So on the landing page, you can see all the different charts. So this is an event management app. So it has all the insights about events, different event types, total events by month or year, most popular sessions by attendee count. So we are showing all the analytic queries in the form of charts here, in the form of a dashboard. And if I open the navigation, you can also see all the other pages in this particular application. So if I go to the next page, which is the event schedule page, so we are displaying all the events on a calendar component, right? So Apex has all these high value built-in components readily available, pre-cooked for you. So you can just drag and drop this onto the canvas and use them. And we also have an event explorer where you can explore all the events, right? You can search through the events. For example, if I search for a conference, right? We have these two conferences in the app. So I can go ahead and also modify. As an admin, I can modify the event information. I can also generate description using AI. So you can see that I'm able to generate descriptions using AI. And not just that, we also have an assistant, event assistant, using which you can ask queries about all the events. For example, I can ask list all AI events. So this chatbot is RAG powered, right? It answers questions based on the data in the database, your own custom data, right? If I ask list Apex events, right? It picks up all the Apex events and it answers the questions accordingly, as you can see. So we're going to build all this live, right? Before we do that, let me go back to my PPT. So this is what we're going to build today, an event management app. So before we build this, right? How are we building this? We're building this using Oracle Apex. So what is Oracle Apex? We have covered about Oracle Apex in the previous episode. So let's have a quick recap of what is Oracle Apex to those who are attending new. So what is Apex? Apex is a low-code application development platform using which you can build AI-powered data-driven enterprise apps with world-class features. So Apex provides the most productive way to build these applications. It is part of Oracle database. So if you have Oracle database, you get Apex free of cost at no additional cost, right? So that is what Apex. We already covered this in detail in the previous session. This is just a recap. Now we have we know what is Oracle Apex, right? Those of you who attended the previous session, you know Oracle Apex. I have just given you a quick recap. So we know what is Oracle Apex. Oracle Apex is a low-code platform to build applications. But what is generative development? So we have this term in the title of the session as well. What is GenDev? So let's throw some light on that. So GenDev is nothing but infrastructure from Oracle that facilitates AI development for enterprise, right? So it is an AI-centric infrastructure with innovative development technologies like Database 23 AI, Oracle Apex for app dev, vector support in 23 AI, etc. So a culmination of all these innovative technologies which helps you build applications using AI is what GenDev, right? So today in this webinar, we'll be focusing on Oracle Apex and how we can use the GenDev features in Oracle Apex to quickly build applications. That's the meat of this today's session. Now, how you can unlock the developer potential with Apex. So what capabilities does Apex have, which can help you unlock the GenDev potential? The first thing is you can create data model using AI. So typically to create a data model, right, to create a database schema, you would have to be a database expert. So in this session, I'm going to show you how you can create an entire data model just by giving natural language prompts. Right? We're going to build that from scratch. And then we'll also be looking at how you can generate apps or application blueprints using AI. So I will just describe what are my application features that I want, and I'll let AI generate the application blueprint for me. And then I'll also show you how you can use AI-powered code authoring. So inside the app, once the app is built, if I want to add additional features, or if I want to add additional, for example, charts in the dashboard, I would have to write SQL queries, right? So instead of writing the SQL queries manually, I'll show you how you can use AI-powered code authoring, where we'll use NL to SQL capability of Oracle Apex to generate these SQL queries very easily. And then finally, we also have this chatbot functionality where you can effortlessly create RAG-powered chatbots in your Apex applications. We'll cover all these. We'll use all these GenDev features to build this event management app, right? So how are we building this event management app? As I said, I'll be doing it live. So we are going to finish this app in 5 different steps. The first step is we'll start by creating an AI-driven data model. So we'll create a data model wherein we'll create all the entities. We'll define the relationship between these entities. For example, we need a database table called events, right, to store all the events. And we need a database table to also store information about speakers. We also need a database table to store information about sessions in a given event. So all this information, we need a database schema. So we'll be creating a data model using AI. And we'll be creating this just like how a database expert would do. Once we have the data model, the next step is we build an application blueprint. We generate an application blueprint using AI. So in this step, what we do is we describe the app features, what all features we want in this application, right? We describe that in natural language, and then let AI come up with an application blueprint based on the data model. Once the application is created, we are then going to customize the app. We're going to add additional features, right? You know that if AI is generating an application, it may not have all the features you need. So all the apps would require some kind of customization. So we'll show you how you can use AI again to customize and add additional features. So we'll add different charts using natural language to SQL capability. We'll also show you how you can write business logic using PL SQL, and we'll create this PL SQL using AI. So that's step number 3. We'll customize and add additional features. And then we'll also show you how you can enhance the app user experience using AI. We'll show you how you can generate HTML and CSS wherever required to polish the UI of the application. And then we'll also show you, in the demo, I showed you how you can generate event descriptions using AI. So we'll show you how to build that in a low-code manner without writing code in Apex in a declarative fashion. And then finally, we'll also show you how you can create RAG-based chatbots. Mind you, we are dealing with Oracle Apex, which is a low-code platform. So to create this chatbot, we're not going to write code, right? We're going to do it in a low-code fashion, in a declarative fashion. So we're going to perform all these 5 steps live, as you see. That's the plan for today. So enough of PPT. let's get to building the application. Show me your excitement if you're interested to see this, right? As I said, use emojis wherever you can. All right, let me move on to my browser. This is where I'll be creating an application. Let me sign out and show you from the very beginning, right? So to get started, right, to get started building Apex apps, the first thing you need is to have an Apex workspace, right? So to get an Apex workspace, just hop on to apex.oracle.com, right? If you go to this URL, apex.oracle.com, here you can click on start for free today. And if you scroll down here, you can see 3 different options using which you can get your hands onto an Apex workspace. The first option is you can get a free Apex workspace. This will be free forever. No questions asked. You can just drop in your email ID and you can get an Apex workspace, but this is resource constraint because this is only set up for evaluating Apex. If you want to learn Apex, this is the suitable option for you. Or you can also get Apex on Oracle Cloud. So if you have an Oracle Cloud account, you can provision an autonomous database. You get 2 always free environments on Oracle Cloud where you get 20 GB of storage included, right? So you can also get Oracle Apex Workspace or Oracle Apex Instance free of cost on Oracle Cloud. Third option is you can install Apex on your own laptop, for example, via Docker, or there are many other options, right? You can install Oracle database and then install Apex. So if you are familiar with working with Oracle database or databases in general, and if you are familiar with working with Docker, for example, you can have Apex installed locally on your system without any cost, right? So we have these 3 options. So the first option, if you click on it, for example, just have to enter your first name, last name, email ID, workspace name. This has to be unique. So you enter all this information and then click on request workspace. You'll get an email where you have to provide your password for the workspace, and then you have a free workspace provisioned. It won't take more than 5 minutes, right? You can go there and get yourself an Apex workspace. So moving on, I already have one Apex workspace provisioned. So once you have an Apex workspace, you can enter the workspace name, your username and password, and click on sign in. We do it once again. Click on sign in, and this signs me in into the workspace, right? So now I have an empty workspace. As I said, I will be building the entire event management app from scratch. So I don't have any database objects or nothing created. This is a fresh workspace that we're going to use to build this application from scratch. So as soon as you log in into the workspace, by default, you will not see any AI features enabled, right? That's because you have to explicitly enable these AI features by creating something called as a generative AI service in Apex. So how do you create a GenAI service? You hop on to App Builder, click on Workspace Utilities, and click on All Workspace Utilities. Here you can see this menu item called Generative AI. This is where you can configure multiple generative AI services, which you can put to use in your app builder while building applications, as well as in your end applications, right? So if I click on that, I already have 2 created, right? I can quickly show you how to create one from scratch. Click on create. Let me remove this. I can select the AI provider. So by default, we support these 3 different AI providers: OCI GenAI, OpenAI, and Cohere. So you get to choose your preferred AI provider, right? You're not tied to a single AI provider. For example, your organization is more inclined to use OCI GenAI because they want to stay in the Oracle ecosystem. They are more inclined to use OCI GenAI. You can go with OCI GenAI. Or if your organization is more inclined to use OpenAI, you can do that as well. So for example, if I select OpenAI, you get to fill all of the other options. For example, you need to grab an API key from OpenAI platform and drop it here. Let me get that quickly. I have an API key just to show you. One moment. So I will be pasting my API key here. And I can also select my AI model. As you know, OpenAI has multiple AI models available, GPT 3.5 to GPT 4.1, GPT 5, and all that. So you can select your preferred AI model depending on your use case, right? That's the advantage with Apex. You're not tied to a single AI model. You get the choice to pick your own AI model. You can click on test connection. and you can see that connection is successful, right? Just it verifies whether the API key is correct and it has the required credits or not, right? This is how you can create a GenAI service. And by toggling this switch used by app builder, this particular GenAI service will be used inside the app builder for all the AI assisted development features. So when I say I'll be creating a data model using AI, so which AI model and which AI provider will it be using will be determined by this particular switch. So whichever GenAI service is having this switch turned on, that will be used by the app builder. Only one GenAI service can have this switch turned on in a workspace, right? So I have these two GenAI services created with one enabled for use in the app builder, right? So that's the first step, creating a GenAI service. As soon as you create a GenAI service with one of the service marked as yes, it enables AI features inside the platform. Now you can use AI to build applications, right? So let me, the first step now, I have GenAI service. The first step now is to create the data model, right? We looked at the 5 steps, right? The first step is to create a data model, which includes all the database tables where we can store our data. To do that, go to SQL Workshop, right? In the SQL Workshop, you see this option called Create Data Model Using AI. You see this here, right, on the right-hand side. So you click on that, and it opens this Apex Assistant, right? You don't have to write all the queries yourself. You can simply enter your requirements, what requirements you have in terms of this app, right? I'll select Oracle SQL for now, and I'm going to type in my query, create a data model for an event management app. The data model should include events, sessions, speakers, what else? Speakers, venues make sense, okay? Venues and attendees, right? This will be a good start. And I hit the go button. So I'm describing my application requirements, right? What all entities I want in this data model in natural language. And AI is going to look at my prompt and it's going to generate the data model for you. Let's wait for AI to finish this. This is the data model which AI has come back with. As you can see, this is not a single table, right? It has multiple tables. It has a venues table created, as you can see. If it is too small, let me know. I'll zoom it in a little bit. As you can see here, right, we have a venues table and we have events table as well. And in the events table, you can see there's a venue ID with a foreign key constraint. So what is happening here is it is not just creating database tables, it is also creating relationship between these entities, right? And if you scroll down, we have the speakers table as well, and we have attendees table. So we have all these data model tables created in the data model, right? It also has audit columns. If you look at table here, we have audit columns as well. So it creates the data model by following all the best practices, industry best practices, right? So you need not be a database expert to do this, right? You can just simply use AI in Apex and give your prompt and generate the data model as if you are a database expert. Once the data model is created, this is just the initial data model, right? And if you want to further enhance the data model, if you want to add more entities, for example, I want to add event types. I want to differentiate whether an event is a conference or a roadshow or a boot camp, right? There can be different types of events. As you can see, this was not included in the initial data model. So I want to add that. So I can simply further prompt. I can say add event types, right? And then it will go back. It will take a look at what it has generated and then adds this additional table to the data model. So in this way, you can have a conversation with the Apex Assistant and iteratively enhance the data model generated. Now, as you can see, it came back with event types table. It has an event types table. It has venues table like before. And it also added event type ID to the events column with the foreign key, right? So in this way, you can iteratively enhance the data model in a conversational fashion. Now, you can see here, we also have a choice, an option to choose what should be the SQL format. Right now, I'm using Oracle SQL, so it generates a verbose version of the data model with all the create table syntax, right? It follows the Oracle SQL syntax, but we also have one more option called Quick SQL. What is Quick SQL? Quick SQL is a shorthand syntax, right? The same data model, it can generate in a more compact version in a shorthand syntax. The advantage of doing that would be, let me first add one more prompt. So for now, we have all the objects to have em underscore, right? I want that to be ev underscore, and I'm choosing SQL format as quick SQL. With that, it generates the same data model in a quick SQL format. So the advantage of that is, as you know, the large language model charges you based on the number of input tokens and the number of output tokens, right? So if you're generating in Oracle SQL, as you can see, it is more verbose. It has all the create table syntax, so it will consume more tokens. By using quick SQL, you're limiting the number of tokens and having the same result in a different syntax and more compact syntax. It's more optimized, we can tell. So this is the same data model in a more optimized shorthand syntax, quick SQL syntax. Once I'm satisfied with all this, right, I can simply click on review quick SQL. So this is the step where you as a developer can pitch in, review what AI has generated. At every step in Apex, right, wherever you're using AI, there is a human in the loop step wherein you as a developer, you as a human can verify what AI has generated. You're not blindly running that in the database, right? You can see the quick SQL syntax, and on the right hand side, you can see the corresponding Oracle SQL. And if you want to make changes to this, you can make changes here at this step. You can also visualize the data model in the form of a diagram. As you can see, all the database tables being created, right? I'm happy with this. I can save the script. You can give it a name, events data model, and click on save script. Now the script is saved, right? My data model is ready. I can review and run. So at this step, you can again make further enhancements if required. For example, I can use Apex Assistant here, because you can see. Now at this step, what I want to do is, I have the database tables, but these tables will be empty once created, right? It will be more fun if we are playing with real data, right? It will be helpful if you're creating an application which has some real data. So I would like to generate sample data in these applications, so in this database tables, right, from my application. So to do that, I can simply select the data model. I click on use selection, and I prompt it. I ask Apex Assistant to generate sample data. Right? I give that as an instruction to generate sample data based on the data model. Again, AI is at work. It takes a look at the tables, it understands the constraints, and then comes back with a sample data. This is not the kind of data you would see in a normal test application. This is data which is very closer to real world scenario. This is synthetic data, right? So you can perform synthetic data generation with Apex Assistant. You can see these are all real conference names. You can see Conference Center, Oracle Summit. So way more closer to a real world scenario, right? Rather than generating gibberish, it's actually generating data which is closer to real world use cases. So I can copy that over into my data model script. And before I go ahead, I also have a modified version of this. We paste that here. So I have all these tables which are slightly modified for the demo purposes, but the same AI generated script, right? Now I can click on run. I can save the changes, yes. And I can run the script. Click on run now. Now it has run all the 117 statements, and my data model is executed, and all these tables are created. So I didn't have to write a single line of code up until this point, as you can see, right? If I go to SQL Workshop and Object Browser, this is where you can work with the backend in Apex, you can see all the database tables created. You can also see the data in them by clicking on a given table. Right? Within no time, I was able to spin up an entire data model using AI and also generate sample data to test my application. Isn't that cool? All right. Once I have the data model created, what is the next step? Get to the business, build the app, right? We're going to build the application. To do that, I'm going to go to App Builder. On the App Builder, I'm going to click on Create a New App. We don't have any application in the workspace. This is an empty workspace. I'm going to click on Create a New App to build an application. Apex provides various options to create an app. You can create an app from scratch using the Create App Wizard, right? Or if you have, let's say you have a CSV file or an Excel file with a lot of data, and you want to convert that Excel file, CSV file into an web application, you simply have to drag and drop that into Apex, and it converts that into a full-blown web application, right? And we have other options as well to create an app. For this demo, this being an AI-focused demo, so I'm going to use Create App using GenAI. Click on that. Again, a similar window opens up, asking me to describe my application features. What kind of app that I want to build? So I'm going to type in create an event management app. And I describe what all features I want in this app. This app should have a calendar page and a search page for events. Right? Let's start with that. So now again, AI is at work. It didn't work. Let me try once again. Let me copy this over. Sometimes this happens, right? AI is not predictable. Let's do it one more try. Now it came back with a basic application blueprint, right? It has one calendar page and a face to search page. I can add more pages, right? I can add, for example, I want to add a form page to edit events, right? I want to have a page to edit events. So I can add a form page to edit events. Also add page to view sessions. I'll say pages to view sessions. And what else? We have venues, event types. So whatever your requirements are, you can just give them in natural language and Apex Assistant will generate the app for you. As you can see, it added all these classic report pages on sessions table, venues, and event types, right? I can also add, for example, you can see it by default enabled progressive web app feature. So Apex apps can be installed as PWA applications. I'll talk about that. I'll show that in demo as well. But it has by default enabled these two features. But if I want to enable additional features, right, I can simply tell enable feedback feature. And it enables that for us. It enabled the feedback feature, as you can see. All right. So in this way, you can iteratively enhance the application blueprint, right? You can see what it is generating, what it plans to generate. This is the application blueprint. The app is not yet generated. It is just planning what should the app contain based on our prompts, right? So once you're satisfied with what you see here, you can click on create application. It then generates this, it converts this application blueprint into an app configuration. It's taking some time. Let's wait for it to complete this task. But one point to note here is that I did not mention which tables to pick up, right? I did not mention pick these tables, pick that table, right? I did not mention anything about tables. The good thing about AI inside Apex is that it has context. It has access to your database schema. So it can look into your database schema and understand what tables make sense for a given page, what kind of pages make sense. For example, this is a calendar page. It understood that events table has dates, so it makes sense to display that on a calendar. So it understood that I wanted to search on events, so it suggested a faster search page, right? So it understands what tables are there in my database schema and then accordingly suggests all these application pages. So at this step, again, as I said, there's always human in the loop concept. So we can review what AI has generated and make some modifications. For example, I want to add more pages, and I want to have a dashboard page, for example. So I can add a dashboard page and make it a dashboard page here. I want to make this dashboard page as the home page. So I set the icon, home icon, and I can set the page as home page here. Now, dashboard page is the home page. I can change the icon for the calendar page to be more aligned to calendar. I can search for calendar icon, right? In this manner, I can make these changes. So if I want to change the application icon, I can do that as well. I can select an app icon. Let me do that quickly. One moment. Okay. I've kept it ready. One moment. So I have an app icon built for this demo. So I wanted to use that. This is the app icon. You can't save icon. So you can pick your own icon. That's the whole point here, right? So we have the icon also selected. I want to change the name of the application to be events. I can do that. So if I scroll down, I can add additional pages, but I'll do that later. As you can see, we have different features also enabled by default. As per the application blueprint, we had the install progressive web app enabled, push notifications also enabled. So this application, once installed, you can install that onto your smartphone as a PWA application or on your desktop as well as a PWA app. You can also implement push notifications in this application, and we also have a feedback feature. And if I want to add additional features, I simply have to check these checkboxes. And the main thing to note here with Apex is that Apex being a low-code platform, and if you use AI, the biggest advantage is we're not generating code, right? We're generating application blueprints. So there's no code, even with AI, there's no code that you have to maintain. You're staying in the low-code realm, but using AI to quickly generate applications. So now this looks good to me. I have a dashboard page, I have a search page, I have a calendar page. Looks good to me for the starter application. I can go ahead and click on create application. Now this converts this application blueprint into an actual application. It creates all the pages as described in this application blueprint. It will take some time because there are a lot of pages, but let's give it some time. Almost done. And there we go. So we have the application created with all the pages, as you can see. Mind you, this is just a starter app, right? You can go inside each page and customize in whichever way you want. But this is just a starter app completely generated using AI. I can run the application to show you the app. We have the events app with the logo. I can log in into the application. We have these dummy charts created. We can convert them into actual data, but for now we have these dummy charts placeholders. I can take it to the event schedule page where we have the calendar component. Then we have find an event page where we can search through these events. As you can see, these are all pre-built high value components in Apex, right? You don't have to code them from scratch. When you search for an event, it automatically refreshes and shows. This is a pre-built component in Apex called faceted search, right? So that's what AI has built for us. And these are all the other apps that we have. Now, this app is built, right? But I don't like the look and feel of this application. I want to customize that. I can now use built-in AI, built-in Apex features to customize the look and feel of this application. For example, I can use customize theme roller option to completely change the look and feel of this app live. I can change the theme to Redwood Light, which looks good. I can change the pillar to rose to be in line with the app color, the app icon color. I can make it floating, for example. This looks good. I can change the header to pillar. I like my application to be more in a darker version, so I can choose navigation also to be pillar. Body, I want it a little bit darker, and body background also to be dark. As you can see, I'm able to make these customizations really quickly in a declarative fashion. I'm not writing any code to do these changes, right? I can click on save, can give this new theme style a name. I'm going to call it event management, so EM, and save this. That's it. My entire app is now modified according to what I have configured. I can go across all the pages and I can see this in action. As you can see, right? So that's how easy it is to customize once the app is built. Now, I'm not satisfied yet. I have all these dashboards. Now, let's say I want to have a chart here which shows me number of event types, the breakdown of event types, right? How many events, how many events are there for each event type? I want to do that. So how do I do that? I can quick edit on this particular chart. If I quick edit on this, it takes me to this page. This is called page designer. This is where all the customizations happen. So you as a developer, if you're working with Apex, when not using AI, you come to this page designer to make these declarative changes, right? For example, as you can see here, we have all these charts, chart 1, chart 2, chart 3. So corresponding to each component on the UI, you'll find a corresponding component in the page designer. So you can select a component, and on the right hand side, you see all these options, which you can change to control the look and feel of this particular component. For example, I want this to be event types, right? Breakdown of event types. So I'm going to name it event types. This is of type chart. This is a area chart. I'm going to make it a pie chart. And I go back to region. I go to series. So here I'm expected to provide a SQL query, right? So instead of writing SQL query manually, I can use Apex Assistant. I click on this Apex Assistant. I don't want to use the query. I want to have a fresh query, right? So I can describe what I want for this particular chart. So I say, provide a breakdown of event types, right? So it quickly generates SQL query. Let me insert that into the code editor area and validate this. As you can see, Apex Assistant generates syntactically correct SQL queries. You don't have to remember the table names, right? You don't have to remember the Oracle SQL syntax. You don't have to go back and forth to know what are the columns, what are the column names. You can use AI to quickly generate these SQL queries using natural language prompt. And not just that, once a query is generated, if you want to further enhance, let's say I want to show highest count at the top, right? I can prompt it and it will further enhance the generate SQL query. So I can validate this once again. It is a valid query. A point to note here is that it understands the table names and column names, and not just that, it understands the semantics of your request. So I asked for a breakdown of events, so it understood that it has to join two different tables. It has to group by on these two columns, and based on my second prompt, it is able to order by based on the count. Right? It can create even complex queries where it has to join multiple tables. That is also possible. And not just query generation, right? While writing SQL queries, let's say you make a small mistake, and when you validate, it throws an error. Along with the error, it also gives you this option to help, right? This option called help me fix this. When you click on that, it uses AI to understand what the error is, and then it takes a look at your query and then tries to fix that query for you. If I scroll down, you can see it explains what is the issue with your query and comes back with a fixed version of the query. And it doesn't end there. If I have SQL query or any code for that matter inside the app builder, I can select that code snippet and I can use AI to improve that code for me. For example, the SQL query is very simple, but I can ask AI to improve the quality and efficiency and security of this particular SQL query. And it explains how we can improve that. It also suggests some indexes if missing. Okay. So that is again one more thing that you can do with Apex Assistant. And you can also, let's say you are reviewing your colleague's code, your teammates' code. You don't understand what a SQL query is doing. You can ask AI to explain it for you. Right? It's like having a SQL coach sitting with you right in the platform, helping you write SQL queries. Right? That's what Apex Assistant is. And you can see all the explanation here about this particular SQL query. For now, I'll stop it here for this demo. I'll click on OK. I'll move ahead. I can map the label column to be name and value column to be event count. And with that, I click on save and run. And here we have the event types pie chart. If I can also interact with this to see how the distribution of event types are. Looks like in our data, we have more number of conferences, lesser number of roadshows. Right? Similarly, I can also create more charts. For example, I'll create one more chart just for the sake of demo. So I want to show in the chart too, I want to show a breakdown of total number of events by month or year. Right? So how many events that are we doing in a given month of a year? So I can go back to, I can quick edit on this chart. It takes me to chart number 2, which is also a chart region. I'm gonna provide a title, total events by month or year. I'm going to copy that and I go to series. So here again, I'm expected to write a SQL query. So I'm going to quickly use Apex Assistant to generate the SQL query for me, total events by month or year. It comes back with a SQL query. I can click on insert. As you can see, it has the SQL query generated. I can validate it, which is correct, right? Click on OK. Scroll down, label will be month, year, total events, which is fine. And I can check this is a bar chart, which is okay for this chart. So now we have the second chart also created. So in this way, I can use Apex Assistant to generate SQL queries using natural language. Right? So it doesn't end there. I mean, I can also use the same Apex Assistant to, let's say, generate PL SQL packages. Right? So if I click on, if I go to object storage, or if I go to SQL commands, for example, I have this events table, right? Let me paste the events DDL command. So I have this events table. Now I want to create a PL SQL package to manage, insert, update, deletes into this particular events table. So I can simply select this, open Apex Assistant, we go to general assistance mode. I can ask AI to generate a PL SQL package to insert, update, delete events. And it comes back with an entire PL SQL package which handles the business logic to insert, update, delete. It has a package spec. I can insert that and I can run it. It has some issue. Let me fix that. Okay, there are like 2 statements here. Let me fix one by one. One is package spec that is created, and I have package body also created. Now I can go back to my update browser and I can see the package spec and package body created. You can see the package spec, which inserts, updates, deletes with individual procedures for each of the DML operations. And similarly, the package body where we have the entire logic. Right? That's how easy it is to quickly turn around business logic and create PL SQL APIs. That's all I couldn't do. That's all I was able to do in a very short time, right? To build this application, which looks good already. But I'll hand it over to Ashwin, who will enhance the user experience of this application further using AI.
Yes, thank you, Toufiq. Okay, let me quickly share my screen.
One moment.
I hope you're able to see my screen. Okay, hello everyone. So now that we have explored how to create a data model and build an application using generative AI, now let us try to understand how we can leverage or enable the AI-powered features in your application, right, for the end users. First, let us quickly enhance this report. I'm in the faceted search page, which is find an event. So let me quickly enhance this report to display the content in a more structured and a row-based format. So to do that, let me quickly edit this page. So I will go on quickly edit. I click on quick edit. So it redirects me to a page designer. So this is my report called events. And let me change the type. The type, if you see, there are multiple built-in components which are available here. We also have a predefined reusable template components which are available. So I will, for this demo, I will go with the content row, which displays your report in the form of list. Okay. And then let me try to map my columns to the particular section of the list using under the attribute section. Let me go to the titles. Under the titles, I will choose the name, which is the name of an event. For descriptions, I will go with the descriptions. It's a description of an event. And let me try to make it look more appealing, right? So let me try to display an avatar, so which is basically an icon on the left-hand side of your list. Let me choose an icon. So since it is related to an event, I will go ahead with the calendar. Okay, and then I can go ahead and explore different options here, right? We have the shape and size and all those information. I'm happy with what we have here. So let me quickly save and run it to show you how it looks. Okay, so this is showing me the icon on the left, and we have the title and also the description as well. So let us say, like, I want to display some more information, right? As an end user, I would be needing some more information like a date, like a venue, or something like an event type. So let's go ahead and add some more fields over here. So to do that, again, let me go back to my page designer. I go to my region. So as you see here, I'm using a type called table, and I'm using a single table, EV_events. So let us say my fields, the additional fields which I want to leverage, it is not in this particular table. So I should be using different tables, right? I should be able to join different tables here using a SQL query. So let me change the type to SQL query. So it populates a SQL query for me here. Now, let me use Apex Assistant to generate some more fields like venue, start date, or something like event type, right? So let me use Apex Assistant, and let's just say let's just give a prompt like add venue and something like event type. So this is just going to produce a SQL query for me using different tables which are available, like an EV venues, joining it with the venue ID and also the event types. So let me go ahead and quickly insert this query and also validate it, right? I'm happy with the query, and this validation is also successful. So let me go ahead and click OK. Okay, so now let me quickly try to map the additional columns which I added here. So to do that, let me go back to the attribute section. And under description, I would like to show the additional fields, like, for example, start date and also the venue, right? I want to display it and align it parallel to each other under this description field. So to do that, again, I will highlight this, and I'll go to the Apex Assistant, and I will have a prompt like generate an HTML for me, right? Generate an HTML to display start date and venue as a labeled information using span tag. So basically, I'm trying to be more specific here in the interest of time. Let's see what AI generates for us. Okay, so it has generated a HTML code for us. I would want to actually use the dynamic values, not just the static values here. So I would ask AI to use the substitution strings. So I would say use Apex substitution strings. So this is automatically going to display the substitution strings for me. So this is what it's done. And also I'm going to give one more prompt saying that display this, display it below description. Okay, so I have the HTML code ready. Let me just quickly insert it. So as you can see, it has a description. Under description, I have two fields like the start date and menu. Okay, so let me just do some modifications if required, and then I hit OK. So that's for the new fields. Let me just quickly save and run it and see how it looks. Okay, so it has added two new fields for me. That's a start date and a venue, right? So now let me just quickly add a batch for an event type. So event type is basically used to track different types of events. For example, need a workshop or a webinar and so on. So let me display a batch, and let me choose the label for the batch, which would be event type. And the value would be event type name. Okay, and also the shape. I can go ahead with different options here. So we have the style. I would go with a subtle look and feel of the batch, and also the shape, right? We have different options available here. I'll go with the rounded. So we can also explore the different options like size, width, and so on. Also the position, right? So we can also align the batch position in the list. Where do you want to align it? If you want to align it at the end, we can go with the end. So for this demo, I will be aligning it to the end, and also the alignment of the batch position as well. So it will be in the center. Okay. So also we have different options available here. So you can quickly add a different CSS styles without actually adding a CSS code, right? So let me just quickly save and run this. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so we have the list ready. We have the content row ready, right? With no code. Okay, so let's moving on. Let's add one more thing, right? Let's try to add a link to this so that on click of this event name, so it opens a form page for me, right? So let me go back to my page, and we have an option called actions. Let me right click on actions, and we have different positions, like where do you want the hyperlink to be added, right? So in my case, it should be title link. I will go with the title link. And also redirect to page. So which page I should be going to? On click of the icon or on click of this link, where it should go to, right? What is the form page? So that form page, let me just search for the form page here. And it seems to be event details. Okay, go with this. Also, I will pass a primary key because I would require the primary key to fetch the specific event details when I click on the link. Right? So I will pass a primary key. Let me go ahead and run this. Okay, so that has opened me a form page for me, right? So that was really quick. Okay, now let's quickly add a chatbot. Let's not waste much time. So I would be adding a button wherein on click of that, it will invoke a chatbot, and basically end users can come in and inquire about different events, right, in a conversational style. So let's see how we can do that. To do that, let me again quickly edit this page. Let me do a right click and create button. Let me name the button as event assistant. Okay, and let me change the button template so we have the list of button templates available here. I will go with the text with icon. I'll keep it as hot. And also I will have some fancy icon here, like an AI icon, right? Also, I will try to position the button to the right side of the screen. So I will change the slot to next, which would actually position it to the top right end of the screen. Let me run it. Let's see how the button looks like first. Okay, so button is there. Let me try to create an action for this, right? So on click of this, I should be able to invoke the chatbot. So to do that, again, let me quickly do a quick edit and click on that. It will lead me to this particular button. Now let's add a dynamic action, right? So what is a dynamic action if people who are not aware? So dynamic action is basically enables you to add client-side behavior declaratively with no JavaScript. So you can do pretty much everything, most of the things, using dynamic action with less JavaScript or no JavaScript at all. So let's create a JavaScript. Let's name this as event then chatbot. Okay, and we have the event here that is click of the button. So that we have multiple predefined events available here. I will go with the click because on click of the button, I want to invoke the chatbot, right? And let's also add an action. So on click of the button, what should happen? So that's what we are going to define here under the actions. We have again the predefined actions available here for different use cases. For this demo, I will go with the show AI assistant since we want to invoke a chatbot, right? Okay, so then let's select the service. The service would be the one which Toufiq has already created in the shared components or in the workspace utilities. So I will go with that particular service. And then let me give a cool welcome message like saying, hi. How can I help you today? Okay, I will display it as a dialog. And yeah, that's all. Let me just try to run this. And also, I missed one thing, which is the title of the dialog, right? So let's name a cool event assistant as a title of the chatbot dialog. So let's quickly run this. Okay, so on click of the event assistant, you are seeing the chatbot dialog here with no additional code. Okay, so the title is event assistant, and I also have my welcome message, which is being shown here. Let me just quickly set a prompt saying list AI events. Let's see what it returns. Taking a bit of time. Okay, so as you can see, it's returning you some irrelevant results, right? It's nowhere related to what we have here as a part of events, right? So it's basically returning you a generic data. So how do I get a context aware data? Like how do I get a business data displayed here, right? So that's where we have a concept called as RAG. So RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, is an AI framework where which enables you to retrieve results from different data sources, like be it database or a web or a document, and then it uses this information to augment or enhance your prompt, and then it will be sent to the LLM models, large language models, right? And then large language model uses this information and responds back to you with the response which is more grounded in a business context, right? So let's try to create a RAG source and then try to attach that RAG source to this chatbot. So let me go back to my page again. To create a RAG source, I need to go to the shared components. Okay, so this is the section where you can enable all the reusable components which will be used across your application. Come to the generative AI section. Under this, we have something called as AI configuration. So we need to first create an AI configuration, and under that, we can create multiple RAG sources. Let's quickly create an AI configuration. Let's name it as event AI configuration. Let me use the same service as what Toufiq created. Let me just give a simple prompt to AI saying that you are an event assistant. Answers question. Okay, let me have a welcome message as well. Okay, so let me go ahead and create an AI configuration, and then let me quickly create a RAG source. Let me name the RAG source as event assistant. Let me give the description as fetch event details. Okay, so now let's try to set the source. So under source, we have multiple options: SQL query, function body, and static. I will go with the SQL query, and I will again take the help of Apex Assistant to quickly generate a query for me. Let's say fetch event ID, name, start date, venue, and event type. Okay, so it has generated a query for me. Let me quickly insert it. Let me validate it. It all looks good. Let me create it and quickly go back to my page. Okay, so let me go to my dynamic action. Under this, on the right, you would be seeing the configuration. So let's choose the configuration which you just created. That is events AI configuration. As soon as you select, the things are changing here, right? So we have the appearances dialog, the title event assistant, which is as expected. Let me just quickly add a quick actions so that user can start on the button. So let's say like list AI events. We quickly run this. Okay, so that there you go. Like we have the event assistant and we have the welcome message again. We have the quick action. Let me click on this. Let's see what it returns. Yes, all right. So it has returned me a great results now, specific to the data I have in my table, right? Let me ask some more questions like list Apex events. Okay, so it has given me the events, which is Oracle Apex Summit. It's going to be there on November 15th this year. Great, so this works well. I would like to quickly show you how to generate a text from the existing application. Okay, so we have the button here again for generate description. Let me quickly edit this. Okay, again for a button, we have the dynamic action, and under the dynamic action, we are creating an action for generate text with AI, right? And also we are using the same configuration which we newly created, events AI configuration. The only change is we are using an input value because as you come to this screen, you want to have the context of this particular event details only, not something else, right? So when I come to this, it should get me a context of cloud computing webinar series. When I come to this, it should get me a specific event details, and then use that to build a description form on top of this details we have on the screen. So that's why I'm passing this input, which is basically holding a primary key value, right? And then the response, where do you want it to be rendered, right? I want to finally render the response of the AI into this description field. That's where I'm using this use response, which is a description field. So that's what it's doing. So when I click on generate description, it calls a dynamic action, and it again communicates with the AI and comes up with this kind of abstract, right? Okay, so yeah, with that, I concluded my demo. I hope you enjoyed it. So I would like to hand over to Toufiq, so to share some concluding words. Thank you.
Great. Let me quickly, we're already at the top of the hour, but I'll quickly finish my.
Yeah, let me stop sharing
as well. Okay. So we have all seen how quickly you can build applications, right? So what we have shown today is how you can build an app from scratch using AI, and just using natural language prompts. You can create data models, create applications, make modifications, enhance the UX, and you can also build chatbots in a declarative fashion, right? But mind you, what we have shown today is we just shown you the AI features. Apex is much more than just AI features, right? Apex is a low-code application platform to build enterprise apps. So we have many high-value built-in components in Apex, like workflows, for example, PW applications. We support various authentication schemes, right? Various security features, right? So you get all these built-in features in Apex. Just don't get the impression that Apex is all about AI, but Apex is much more than AI. You can build enterprise-grade applications with Apex. Now, I hope you enjoyed the app building process using AI. Now, what next, right? What next is, if you want to learn more about Apex, if you think Apex is the kind of platform you want to use to build applications, just hop on to apex.oracle.com. This is a one-stop shop for all things about Apex. You can scan the QR code. This is where you can create your workspace. This is where you can learn more about Apex. And if our session today motivated you to pick up Oracle Apex, and if you want to learn Oracle Apex, we have free training available from Oracle University. You can also get yourself certified in Oracle Apex by taking the certification exam. At this point in time, Oracle University is offering a free certification, which is valid until 31st October. So till 31st October, if you attempt certification exam, it is free. You don't need not pay for it. You can avail this offer and get certified, and you can become an Oracle certified Apex developer. If you want to learn more about Apex and AI, just go to this URL, apex.oracle.com/go/AI. On this webpage, we have all the information, all the links to various blog posts, and all the cool things that you can do with Apex and AI. My colleagues would have already shared these links, some of the resources. You can sign up for an Oracle Apex workspace. You can also get started with Oracle Cloud, and you can also use the free Oracle Database 23 AI, which has all cool features like vector search and other AI features. And also we have Oracle AI World, a huge developer conference coming up in October. This was earlier called Oracle Cloud World, now rebranded as Oracle AI World. Lots of interesting AI related topics will be covered here, like RAG, MCP, vector search. If you are an AI enthusiast, you should definitely register for Oracle AI World. Next week, same time, we have episode number 3 lined up, where we'll be showing you how you can use large language models to revolutionize your database workflows, right? So better not miss that. It'll be a very interesting session. With that, I thank you, each and every one of you, for joining this session. Hope you liked it.
All right. Thank you so much, Toufiq and Ashwin, for the great presentation and live demo. We have a few minutes for the Q&A. If you have more questions, feel free to type in the chat. If you want to prefer to speak to ask questions, you can raise your hand. I can unmute you. You can use your mic to have an open discussion or free to speak.
There was one question I would like to answer in the chat, which I didn't get a chance to answer. So the question is, using AI-assisted development in Apex, does AI have access to our underlying application or database data? If yes, what mechanisms exist to ensure that sensitive, private, or confidential database are not exposed to AI model or external systems? So the answer is, when you're using AI-assisted development, like using AI to build applications, to generate application blueprints, or using AI to generate data model, in those tasks, your data is not sent to AI. Only your database structure, information about what tables you have, what is the foreign key relationship between these tables, only this information is sent over to large language model, based on which it generates the applications or SQL queries, right? So in the AI assisted development part, there is no data that is sent over to the large language model. When coming to the RAG, right? RAG is all about providing the data to the large language model, right? Even there, only the data which you as developer define as RAG source is sent. So you get full control to decide what data can I send. And at the same time, we have not covered that, but on the RAG data source level, you can also have authorization applied, role-based access control. Right? Depending on who the logged in user is, you can control what RAG data sources will be included in the RAG implementation. So you have full control as to what data is sent to large language models.
Thank you. Any last minute questions? I think it's a question from Bruce. Do you offer credit for the AI developers?
For Apex, you don't need credits. You can simply hop on to apex.oracle.com and you get a free workspace. That's what we use today for the demo. We built the entire app on apex.oracle.com, right? You can just go on to that URL and create a workspace for you. You just have to provide your email ID. No credit card required, nothing. Just provide your email ID, name, and give a unique workspace name. There you have a free Apex workspace. The training is free. The question is, the training are free, right? Yeah, the trainings are free. Professional course as well as foundations course. The trainings are absolutely free. The certification is what we are running promo currently, which is free until October 31st. The certification after October 31st will be again paid, right? The trainings are always free. You can go on to Oracle University. We have shared the links already. Go there and take the training. It's always free.
I think we have a couple more questions.
Yep. Let me answer one by one quickly. Which one should I pick up? There are many.
From the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start from the bottom. Can you post the link to cert program? I think my team will paste the link to certification again. Can we develop real-time application using?
You can pick about embed our custom LLMs. So he wants to know whether we can use custom LLMs.
You can use custom LLMs, although we said we support 3 different AI providers. But if you have a large language model hosted in your own local data center, what you can do is you can create a wrapper around your large language model in such a way that it replicates OpenAI's request response structure. Right? So we have a very good blog post on this topic where titled Apex meets open source. You can go and read that blog post where our community member shows how you can use a locally hosted Olama models to connect with Apex and use it as an AI provider. The key there is the LLM should replicate OpenAI's request and response structure.
Okay, I think we are run over time.